Welcome back to the How to Podcast series. My name is Dave, and I'll be your host. Well, yeah. Anyways, nice to have you here. Just in a quick update to jump on and let everybody know, we tried our first Zoom room, and we had some great feedback. Thank you so much for those that participated. We didn't record it. It was our first one, so we just left it. But again, thank you to everybody that made time. There was a suggestion that we move it later in the day. Again, I'm completely open to anything that works for everyone, and that would be the best. Again, selfishly, the first one was based on my schedule and what works for me, and the fact that I work nights. Yeah. So, but the feedback was maybe a little bit later in the day would work for more time zones. Completely agree. So I'm thinking 2 p.m., first Friday of the month at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which would then mean that would be 11 a.m. Pacific, 12 Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Central, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Hi, guys. That'd be 4 o'clock for you. Our great friends in the UK would be 7 p.m. Germany would be 8 p.m. So if that works for everyone, I think the only ones that would be really hard would be Australia at 6 a.m. Tokyo would be 4 a.m. Sorry, we'll have to do a different one just for you guys. And then Auckland, New Zealand would be 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. So that's not too bad. You could get up and have coffee with us. So I'm going to try 2 o'clock. And again, if that interests you, the whole format of our Zoom room is that we're going to get together with other podcasters. It's open to anyone. If you have a podcast, if you're starting a podcast, you're thinking about starting a podcast, if you're a professional, you've been doing this forever, wherever you are on that scale, I would love to have you there. It'd be great to share our wisdom, our questions, our advice for each other. Again, remember, I'm a student and I am here to help. So if I don't have an answer for you, someone in the room might. And we can always work together and solve your questions. And they might turn into episodes as well. Your suggestions, your questions might end up being a great way to bring new material to this podcast. So, yeah. So we're going to go with 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the first Friday of the month. So that's kind of where we're thinking about. So it would be for here in Eastern Standard Time Zone. That's going to be March 3rd. So I will put up all the information online. You can go to the website as well and have access to the SpeakPipe, which you talked about. But also you can see how you can reach me through my calendar. You can reach me and book me right through there. Email and all that great stuff. So watch our social media. Watch the website, and if you're available at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 3rd, I would love to have you a part of the Zoom room. So we'll have a topic for the day. We'll kind of go around the room, do a little Q&A. We will also then talk about our podcast. Maybe if you want advice on your podcast, or you're looking for a guest, or you want to be a guest, we'll go around the room and everyone can share a little bit about their podcast in a safe, positive place. And speaking of positive, I've had some really positive comments on one of our more recent episodes where we kind of took a look at the idea of 14 examples of bad podcast coaches that are out there. I listen to a lot of podcasts about podcasting, and there's some amazing people in this space, and I soak up every word because they just bring so much value. So I'm learning just as well as you are. But there are some that are a little more judgmental. And again, we did the comparison in episode 55. If you haven't heard that, jump over to episode 55. But we did comparison of the American Idol TV show where you singing competition, compared to The Voice, another singing competition on television. American Idol, you have 3 judges, and The Voice, you have 4 coaches. So it's more than just a difference of a name. There's There's a philosophy behind the show. Anyways, go to episode 55 and you can hear my list of 14 examples of bad podcast coaching. And if you're looking for a podcast support, some help, I would love to talk to you. Again, I'm available to help with editing and all that stuff, but I'd love to just talk with you. And I'm not charging for this. I just would love for you to have somebody to bounce some ideas off of. If you want me to listen to your podcast, if you want me to guest on your podcast, if you want to co-host with me right here on the How to Podcast series, I'm always looking for people. So reach out again through the website, link in the show notes, and we would love to have you be a part of the group. So that's really fun. Cool stuff, right? Some more stuff coming up. We're going to continue with our the podcast Owner's Manual mini-series that we've been doing. So far in that mini-series, we have talked about nailing down your topic. We talked about naming your podcast. We talked about choosing a format for your podcast. And what else? Yeah, a bunch of stuff like that. So we're going to continue with this. And the idea of an owner's manual is that thing in your car. When you buy a car and there's a little book that comes with your car usually. And in that book is all the stuff you need to know about how to run your car and maintain it. So this is the idea. We want to do a owner's manual for your podcast, how to run it, how to maintain it, how to grow it, tips and things. And these are little bite-sized episodes. So you can jump back to episode 50, 51, 52, 54, and then in between there, you're going to see co-hosted podcast episodes. You're going to see bonus episodes with voicemail that come into me, and I make a little episode to celebrate. Anytime somebody sends me a voicemail, you'll get a free episode here right on the podcast. So if that's not incentive, I don't know what is. So go ahead and leave me a voice message. Talk about your podcast. Talk about your journey. Ask a question, and I'll put you into the podcast. I will. Check it out. You'll see. Go back and look at the last few episodes, and you'll see people responding, which, if you're a new podcaster, a little side tip for you, building community and getting feedback are very difficult in the early days of your podcast. So we've talked about this before. Celebrate the small in the sense that when you're starting out, you have a tiny little audience, and that tiny little audience is very manageable. You can easily respond to emails, easily respond to a SpeakPipe message. You can build community, and that's your solid base for you to grow from. So don't lament over, oh my gosh, I have 3 listens on my last episode. I'm going to quit. No, wait a minute. 3 people decided to come to your podcast instead of going to a million other places. They came to you. And then you watch the next episode and you have 4 listens. And then you have the next episode, another 4 listens. Those people are coming back. They're coming back. Don't turn your back on your audience. Celebrate the small and enjoy reaching out and building community with the people around you. I hope you're seeing it demonstrated here on the How to Podcast series, because that's exactly how I'm growing my audience and building my community, is by serving you. So it's not about me, it's about you. So I really love the coaching side of this compared to the judgmental side of this that we talked in episode 55. So that's kind of my thoughts for today. Again, I just wanted to talk about March 3rd. On March 3rd at 2 p.m., and then we can convert that to your time zone, but 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 3rd, we're going to have our next Zoom room. You're invited. I would love to have you there. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and I can answer your questions. Myriad of different ways to do that, but I would love to talk to you. Yes, you. And help you with your podcast any way that I can. This is the How to Podcast series. You are my best friend because you've listened to the end of the episode. And again, go check out all the information over there. One thing I'll share with you on Living the Next Chapter, another podcast that I do, I had an actor come on yesterday I interviewed, and she has been on Friends. You know that TV show Friends? I Will Be There For You. Friends. She guest starred on Friends. She's been with Leonardo DiCaprio. She's been with Woody Harrelson, and the list goes on and on and on. A major actor came on to my podcast, and we had such a great conversation. We couldn't end the episode. It just kept going on and on and on. So your interview skills are going to grow. Your connections outside of your community are going to grow. Make your podcast. Make it now. And just start. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. And again, I've offered this many times. I will be your practice interview guest. I will come on your podcast. You get to practice asking questions, working through your style. If it takes one time to do that, if it takes 5, I will come back and be a guest for you. And if you never use our episode and never publish it to the world, that's fine. I'm okay with that because you get to learn and develop your skills as an interviewer. You get to practice, and then we can kind of go through at the end of it and kind of say, well, here's some things that I might try, or here's some things that work for me, some suggestions for you. And then I can give you a little bit of coaching. The reason I like helping people with interviews is my background is in HR, and I do a lot of interviews for people looking for work. So I get to learn a lot from just doing that. So I'm taking that skill set, bringing it to podcasting. And I'm going to help you with active listening and getting away from a scripted list of questions and interacting with your guest. The power of having a pre-interview. There's so many things that we can talk about. So reach out to me if you're going to be an interview podcast and you need help. I would love to come on and just be your practice test dummy, and you can practice your skills and get better at being an interviewer. Okay? That's free. Reach out to me. Again, links in the show notes. We'll talk soon. March 3rd, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're a podcaster and you need a little help, or you want to contribute and you want to help others, even better. Reach out to me. Let me know. And I'll send you the link to our Zoom room. Okay? All right. Have a great day, guys. Podcast. Can't wait to hear your next show and your next episode. Okay? Talk soon. You're the best. And thank you for listening. Catch you later.